Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table you see in front of me, an Arex Rex Zero 1 box. That's right, I went ahead and purchased one. Was talking to my buddy Big Johnson. He convinced me to do it as opposed to some of the other infomercials on YouTube. And, since I listen to some of the things he says sometimes, I said, why not let me pull the trigger on this one and see if I like the gun. And so far, I'm very, very pleased. Now, I will tell you that if you decide to purchase this gun right now, the first thing you might want to look into is removing the grips. These grips that come with the gun are 100% terrible. No other word for it. They're flexible plastic crap. And, does that cut corners? Or I don't think cut corners, but I definitely think cuts cost. But hopefully they'll think about maybe including better grips, and I know they're looking into that now. So that's going to be a bonus if they decide to do that, because these grips are terrible. So if you get the gun, go and invest some extra money in buying yourself some K-VAR grips, because at this point K-VAR is the only manufacturer that's making them right now. So what gun did I get? Well, I didn't want just the average black one, so I went ahead and I bought the FDE one. Now, you'll notice the K-VAR grips that I put on here are their Mascus green grips. I felt that they were going to kind of maybe offset this goldish brown color a little bit more. And in my opinion, it looks absolutely 100% beautiful. I mean, this is one of the most beautiful guns I've ever owned. And, maybe for some of you out there saying, oh, I have a 1911 that's more beautiful than that. Well, that's true, you might. But I've never owned a 1911. And for me, personally, this is the most beautiful gun I've ever owned. Now, is the most carryable, is the most concealable? That's a big no, but at the same time, it is the most beautiful gun that I own. Color-wise, just the way it looks, and look, I'm not gonna say that it's as beautiful as my CZs, but it's pretty damn beautiful. And when you look at the FDE, if you look at the FDE closely, it's almost like a goldish brown, a golden brown look, maybe a little hint of bronze, but it's not really an FDE, which is kind of interesting. But it's still really, really nice looking, I have to say. Now, besides the aesthetic beauty of the gun is actually very nice in regards to milling and machining. And once I strip it down for you, I'll show you on the insides. But overall, positives, there's a ton to look at here. The controls are ambidextrous. You've got your ambidextrous mag release, and it's fully, so you don't have to switch anything. Okay, you've got your ambidextrous safety, which is nice as well, okay, for you lefties out there. The only thing you don't have is you don't have an ambidextrous decocker or an ambidextrous slide takedown, which, is that a big deal? Probably not, because if you're handling the gun with your left hand, you could easily decock it with your index finger. Now, in regards to some of the other features of the gun, again, it is single double action. The double action pull is extremely heavy. I think it's like a 13, maybe, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't have a lineman gauge. I know I got to get one, so, you can leave that in the comment that, hey, buddy, you need to get a lineman gauge. Yes, I know, but I haven't gotten one yet. But anyway, I digress. Now, the double action pull on the trigger is pretty heavy. You can see that it is pretty heavy. But once you get about halfway through it, the trigger breaks and then the hammer drops. So it's actually pretty nice. Now, in regards to the single action is very nice, I have to say. It's not horrible single action, but it's actually pretty clean, and it's pretty clean in regards to the audible click, which is right there. Now, there's not a real tactile feel to it, but right there, I mean, there's not much take up after that secondary trigger pull. So you can see that there's not much take up. So even if you go past where that click is, there's not much take up, and then not much pressure to pull down that trigger and get that hammer to drop again. So, I mean, does it really matter? I don't know. I guess if you're going to sit there and measure, trigger weights and all that other stuff, I guess it does. But in a real world sense, if you're going to use something like this for self-defense, I really don't think it matters too much. Now, again, in regards to the safety, you can carry this gun cocked and locked, which some of you might like, very 1911-ish. So you have your dead trigger, and that's pretty nice too. Me personally, I would just carry it to cocked with the half-cocked position, and I think that's good enough for me. In regards to just about everything else with the gun, it is one of the most, again, very nice guns. You can see a very positive mag release on it, so I mean, that's nice. But to basically do a field strip of the gun, it's fairly simple. You're going to pull the slide back, lock it back in place, and remember your decocker acts as your locking mechanism for the slide as well. And then you just pull, or you rotate this down, and then the slide comes right off without having to do a trigger pull. So let me just lock this back. Again, you can see a little piece of metal in there that locks the slide in place, and all you have to do is pull up on that decocker, and that's where it'll lay in for you. Again, you just rotate this forward, and next thing you know it, you can drop the slide, and it comes straight off. Now, I'm not going to pull the whole barrel out and all that other great stuff. I mean, that's, you've seen it once, you've seen it a million times. But you can see that the machining inside this is very clean, very nice. Even just everything's almost like a satiny finish, which I have to say is absolutely beautiful. It is a high polished feed ramp, which is nice. Again, when you look at the slide, it has a very nice satiny finish to it. Again, has to be degreased a little bit more. There's a tremendous amount of grease that comes from the factory on this. In regards to the frame, again, the frame is flawless, guys. There's not a nick or anything on this. Super smooth to the touch. You know, sometimes you get some of these metal guns and you feel a little bit of maybe a burr here or something like that. If you look at some of the older CZs, you definitely see some machining going on, but this is, I mean, it's like butter, man. It's like seriously smooth as butter, smooth as ice, whatever you want to call it. But damn it, this thing is absolutely beautiful inside. So very nice gun overall. Again, put the slide back together really quick off camera. Slide back on. Basically, you'll notice that once you push the slide back or pull the slide back all the way, this will go back into place. So it's as easy as that, and now you're ready to do what needs to be done. In regards to overall quality, I would give this honestly a 10 out of 10 just from the aesthetic beauty of it, but also just from the machining. You know, are there some things that I'd like to see change? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the hammer, but who the hell cares about the hammer? It's not the most important feature of the gun, but the hammer isn't that great. I think you can get a nice good bead on the hammer, which is nice in case you want to pull that the hammer back a little bit and then lock it into a safe position. I guess it depends. But other than that, I mean, it's really a nice gun. Now, I know there are no aftermarket sights for it right now. KVAR is working on night sights again for this as well. So hopefully some other manufacturers will go out there and start producing them because these are proprietary sights, as so are the grips. So nothing from a SIG will fit on this. Now, in regards to pretty much anything else, I mean, it's a heavy gun. You're looking at 29 ounces unloaded. So, you know, if you don't want a heavy gun, this is probably not going to be the gun for you. Size-wise, if you have smaller hands, my hands are a size large in gloves, but if you have small hands, you may find this gun problematic for you. It is a very thick gun. It's a big gun, and you may find some issues with getting a good grip on it. Now, I will tell you, it fits very nice in the hand. It feels really nice for me to, and again, to hold it. I haven't shot it yet, but everything feels nice. I will tell you, to manipulate controls, it is a little difficult even for somebody with larger hands. You know, I do have to change the angle of my grip slightly to get to the decocker and definitely to get to the mag release. So that's something to consider. Now, of course, they do have the compact. The compact may work for some of you just because it's a little bit smaller, but I felt that for me, I wanted to go with the full size just because, well, I don't have a gun that is a full size that looks like this. So I decided, why the hell not? Why not get one of these instead of the compact? Plus, I already have a double stack subcompact. I don't need another. In regards to everything else, guys, this looks like a really nice gun. I think for their entry into the market, I think they really have a winner here. Now, again, I'm going to shoot it. If it shoots as good as everyone is saying it does, then I'm going to be very, very pleased with the purchase I made for this firearm. So again, if you guys are looking for a good, heavy, double single action firearm that's very similar to a SIG without having to pay the SIG price point, this some detractors of this firearm saying, oh, it's just a SIG clone. And in all aspects, yes, it is. There are some interesting features like the decocker and the slide lock, the being able to carry cocked and locked. So I think those are some interesting features for this firearm. But I mean, for the price point of this and just the quality that I've seen so far, just from the machining and everything, I think they're going to be a big force in the market and in the industry. So I hope you guys like this review. I hope you like this gun, and leave below some comments about what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that here on the channel. Again, just to kind of give you an update on what's been happening with the Canik saga, that is coming to an end this week, and I will have a resolution for everybody this week, and I will just give you a hint. I'm not going to tell you what was the resolution yet, but I really feel like they went above and beyond. And I know some of you may say, well, what the hell is this guy talking about? I really believe they went above and beyond to fix the problem that they caused. But I'll talk more about that another time. So I hope you guys are having a great night. Hopefully you're staying safe out there. And as always, freedom is never free.